Welcome to the Porn Reboot podcast, where you get practical tips to gaining control over your porn or sex addiction. We help ambitious men end their out-of-control sexual behavior with pornography, sex, and masturbation so that you can maximize your life, perform at your potential, and remain in control in the driver's seat, which is where you have to be in order to gain or maintain the success you want in life. I'm your host, J.K. Emezi, certified sex and porn addiction recovery coach. Welcome to the episode. Brother, welcome back to our series on ADHD or ADD and pornography addiction. If you struggle with ADD, ADHD, and you have a problem with pornography, there are two states that you are very familiar with. And this is the state of stress and confusion. You are confused because you have likely tried many things in order to curb your behavior, to control your behavior, whether it is willpower, prayer, visualization, different coaching programs, different apps, different habit methods, meditation, religious method. You've tried so many things and you always come back to the behavior in one form or the other. Maybe not as intense, maybe it's less intense, but it keeps coming back. And of course, there is no way that you deal with this confusion without dealing with stress because it takes efforts. And nobody, at least nobody who listens to the Porn Reboot podcast, is trying to control their behavior casually. Every man who listens to this podcast has big goals and ambitions. There is something you are trying to accomplish. You're trying to scale or grow your business or even start your business. You're trying to make more money or stay consistent with your earnings. You're trying to save more and be financially free. You are trying to get into a relationship or save your relationship. You're trying to be a better father, a better man, a man of values, but you are a man who has goals. And it becomes stressful when your behavior with pornography gets in the way. And when you start recognizing that you might have symptoms of ADD and ADHD, there are going to be a few self-limiting beliefs that come up. I call these self-limiting beliefs side effects that are very specific to men who struggle with both ADD/ADHD and pornography. The first one is imposter syndrome. It is where you believe things consistently like I am too young or I am too old. I don't have enough education or experience, or I don't feel that I'm good enough to do something. I want to make it clear, you would have to experience all 10, literally all 10 of the things that I mentioned to pretty much go running to your nearest evaluator, somebody who evaluates, or psychiatrist to evaluate you as to whether you have ADD or ADHD if you struggle with porn. All 10 of them. So the first is that imposter syndrome. Feeling you're not good enough, you don't have enough experience, education to do something. The second is you also struggle with the fear of failure. So if I take risks and I fail, I might ruin my business and my reputation. Again, second side effect, which is also a limiting belief. The third is perfectionism and an inability to delegate. So again, many of the men who listen to the Porn Reboot podcast and who are our clients are individuals who are professionals, high-performing individuals, and do a lot across the board for your family, for your employees, for your business, and so on. So can someone really do this faster for me? Or believing that I can't move forward until I absolutely get this right. Some form of perfectionism. Or I can't launch XYZ until everything is absolutely flawless. Or should I expect someone else to do these things that I don't want to do? So that is the third, that perfectionism and an inability to delegate. The fourth is scarcity mindset. I don't have the time. You never have enough time. I don't have enough money and I don't have enough customers. There's always not enough of something that you have. That's the fourth one. The fifth is a fear of rejection. If I put myself or my ideas out there, someone may reject or criticize me. You have a huge fear of rejection, or what Dr. Howard Rankin, who runs our ADHD Reboot program, calls rejection sensitive dysphoria, which is a condition quite common in men who struggle with ADHD and an out of control behavior with pornography. The next is comparison to others. I just don't measure up to anybody else. You are constantly looking at your peers or any community you come into. You are immediately sizing everybody up only to come to the same conclusion that you don't measure up. The next is resistance to change, where you tell yourself, I prefer to keep things as they are, even when those things are not working. Resistance to change is very deadly, very deadly. The next is lack of confidence. I doubt my abilities at decisions, and I'm not sure that I have what it takes to succeed. Very common self-limiting belief and symptom/side effect of men who are dealing with ADD, ADHD, and a behavior with pornography. And the last two are a fixed mindset. So there's a growth mindset and there's a fixed mindset. Now, don't get me wrong. Most men who struggle with ADD, ADHD, and also have pornography addiction usually have a growth mindset, to be fair. I do, and I'm going to assume that you do if you're even this far into this podcast episode. However, you have often gotten to a place in some part of your life where you've told yourself, I can't improve. So basically, there's no point in trying to grow or learn anymore. Be honest with yourself. Where is the part of your life where subconsciously you've actually given up? And then next, we have your comfort zone. That's staying in the comfort zone. That's the final one. It is easier to keep doing things myself than to train someone else. That is the self-talk you have, especially if I have to do it over and over again. See, the thing that you could give or delegate to somebody else to do, or somebody else could help you do, you know that you've struggled so much with it. You know that you are obsessed with it and trying to get it perfect, and you have to do it several times. You've invested so much in it. So if you feel that you have had to do that thing so many times, you just don't even want to risk delegating it to someone else or trying something different. You're just going to stick with what you know. How does this particular one relate to your out of control behavior with pornography? See, men who have used something like willpower, or who have used prayer, or who have used anything, and you have invested so much in it, and it's given you very marginal improvements. An example is you've used willpower and reading books, and it helped you reduce the frequency of your porn use from multiple times a week to maybe 3 or 4 times a week, which is still too much for you. But when you think of the effort it's going to take to learn a new system, let's say the porn reboot system, immediately you think, fuck it. I have put so much effort into this thing I'm doing. You know what? To the efforts to learn something else, it took so long to even learn how to use this willpower thing and to use all these different books. I better just stick with what I'm doing, man. It's too risky. You don't even realize that this side effect is literally keeping you stuck. And those are the 10 self-limiting beliefs of men who are struggling with ADHD in their porn addiction or while trying to control their porn habits. Now, in the description below this particular podcast episode, you're going to find a link to a workshop. This is a workshop that was done with Dr. Howard Rankin. He is, among other things, many things, an expert in ADHD and ADD. He is fortunately also one of the main coaches in the Porn Reboot program, and he has a program called ADHD Reboot under Elevated Recovery. I recommend you check out the short workshop first to learn as much as you can about your behavior with ADHD and ADD and find out what the link is between that and your out of control behavior with pornography. And then find out if you are a good fit for the ADHD Reboot program, which is just a 12-week program that is designed to break you out of your limiting beliefs around ADD, ADHD, and your pornography addiction. We are already seeing men who, after the first session, they were already crying. They were crying because They first of all never recognized that they had ADD. And secondly, they realized that they had been so hard on themselves over the years, thinking that something was wrong with them. And of course, realizing that maybe they didn't have a porn addiction. Maybe it was the ADD/ADHD that was showing up all those symptoms, and porn just became the coping mechanism. This is a life-changing course to go through, but don't get on the course first. I think that would be an emotional decision. Just click on the link and just check out the workshop first. And of course, if you have any questions about it, shoot an email to jkemezi@elevatedrecovery.org. I have a couple of time slots during the week when I go through all my emails, and I'll respond to you. Take care.
I'm JK, your brother in this struggle. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Porn Reboot podcast. I'll speak to you later on in the week. If you found this episode helpful, here are 4 ways I can help you with your out-of-control sexual behavior for free. The first way is to grab a free copy of my book, Confessions of a Porn Addict, 7 Secrets of Porn-Free Men at elevatedrecovery.org, or visit the link in the description below this episode. The second way is, if you're not sure where to start, but you'd like to learn more about my team and I, if you'd like to spend time with like-minded professionals and business owners who are controlling their behavior, then join our free and confidential group, the Porn Reboot group on Facebook. There's a link to join in the description below this episode. The third way is if you need help right now because you have a burning issue, your behavior with pornography is hurting you mentally or emotionally, you're about to lose your relationship, you want to live up to your potential, be an authentic man, and free yourself from shame, guilt, and underachieving, then click on the link in the description below this episode that says free coaching call. And the fourth way is to leave us a 5-star review if you enjoy this podcast, so that we can reach more men who are struggling in silence and bring back the lessons we learn from coaching them to freedom.